Bryant and All Sports Media presents around the region the sports talk show. I'm your host, Mark Gregory, alongside Edward Hall and Ryan Garnett, and I'm trying to use Edward's modern day stuff here. So if the graphics are a little bit slow, blame Edward. And I'm trying to get this off here, so always blame Edward. And of course, I've still got the calls. And I don't know if Ryan's got the calls, but Ryan, you still have the call.
I mean, every now and then, not as bad as it was.
Or mine's not getting worse. I think all the calls are coming my direction. So, I don't leave home without it. Yeah, I'm gonna let you take over for a second, talk about our sponsors if you don't care, Ryan.
Oh, we want to thank Bryant Family Medicine just for this kind of everything that they do for us. I have my sweatshirt. It is behind me, but thank you for them for everything that they do. And that's kind of another one that's thanking them for being our sponsors. And then if you're in the market to buying or selling a house, go see Heather Martinez. She can hook you up, move it into a house, and I kind of heard that she can actually help move you into the house. So whatever you kind of need is to help move in or help buy, go give her a holler. She'll be good to help you work you out to get you into that new home.
Good job, Ryan. While I was hacking about two and a half lungs up, and of course, I hadn't called for a while. As soon as this show starts, of course, the hack comes. So hopefully, I get some of that out of my system. But yeah, I've had a bad virus, but I don't know what's going on with me. Sinus infections, what keeps being told to me. So hopefully, I can cough it all up a couple lungs and be back to normal. But Rod, you and Edward has been really out hustling the last few days and doing your thing. And right now, Edward ain't ignoring us. He's actually sharing this stuff to other pages, what he normally does. You've been out hustling. Tell us a little bit about the last few days.
I mean, like I mean, seeing some pretty good basketball. I'll start with tonight since it's kind of more fresh on my mind than what the rest of them is. Uh, First one, Barberville beat East Ridgedale out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, in a pretty well entertaining ball game. And then game number two, CAK or Christian Academy out of Knoxville beat Madison Southern at 58-56 in a very well played game and very kind of heated at times. So I mean, it's been well played basketball, and I'm sure Edward can say the same as that saying. It's been great basketball for the last few days.
Yeah, I mean tonight I didn't get to make it up there to those two games, but which I will be returning back up there Monday to finish out the remaining part of the tournament. But the Friday and Saturday we've been up there. We've got to see several teams that we haven't got to cover, and then we've got to see a couple teams that we have got to cover pretty heavy. And it's different when you get to see some teams out of Tennessee and some of the teams from up around, like the Richmond, Lexington areas teams you don't get to see every day and see how their style of basketball works. And, you've got like contrast to styles where you was talking about the day, in which you talked about the Madison Southern and the Christian Academy out of Knoxville game. You had contrast to styles. You had one team that in Madison Southern, which was more up-tempo, fast-paced. Then you had Christian Academy out of Knoxville that was a little bit more slower, half-court set. All five guys can drop threes on you at any given time.
Yeah, I mean, because yesterday we seen Christian Academy beat, of course, Barberville, but dropping 11 threes in the game. So, I mean, they can shoot.
Big shout out to the Marvel bunch. I believe it's I can't read this. Riley Corey and if I'm pronouncing that right, Ethan Fisher for coming on tonight on very, very short notice. Probably about 5 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, I talked to them and everything after interviews and everything, trying to ask me if they'd like to join. And they both said, yes, I'll join.
Well, we're thankful to get, anybody gives us their time to come on the show, especially these young fellers. They just got off of game, and I'm sure they're tired. I'm sure they can find better things to do other than just talk to us. But we're grateful to get any guests on, and we're really, really grateful. And after that, we've got 3 young ladies from the Whitley County swim team that I'm ready to talk to. We could say we're making history with these young ladies because Ryan, you got a better swifter head than me. I don't think we've ever interviewed anybody from the swim team.
I don't think I've ever did nothing with swimming, so I mean, I'm totally lost on this.
Well, that's the reason why we're bringing these ladies on to educate us about the sport of competitive swim. And I've had the pleasure to be able to take them a couple times on a few trips. And I'm telling you, these girls work extremely hard, and they've got a story to tell. And it's their jobs to get off our butts and start promoting these kids just as hard as we do any sport. And if you want to know why me and Edward are sat together today, actually, me and Edward does like each other about one time a year. That's when we buy each other Christmas presents. So the rest of the year, he locks his door. He won't allow me to come over to his house. The only way I can come over to his house if I have to buy him a Christmas present. So you can see how depressed he looks over there. But he told me I had to leave the house as soon as the show was over. But no, we get along. We exchange gifts today, and Edward's got a beautiful family. I got some beautiful nieces and a beautiful nephew too. There, he's going to be probably a professional wrestler when he gets a little bit bigger. But I love coming here, and I'm a privileged man. I've got my kids, I've got my grandkids, I've got my nieces, my nephews. I can't be no more blessed. God has blessed me a lot, and days like today is very special, and just absolutely love every minute of it.
Yeah, and as everybody knows, Edward and Mark did not invite me and Mark to come over. He let me.
Ryan, if you could turn your mic up a little bit, I'm not hearing you real good at this point.
Yeah, I've got it turned all the way up to 100.
I think Edwards fixed you up there, I believe.
It's probably something on my computer.
Hear me better. Edward says he's hearing you better, but I'm deaf and dumb, so as long as they're hearing you, that's all that matters. But we're waiting for our first guest to come on, but let's talk a little bit about Marvel basketball while we're waiting for them. And I think Edward's going to try to reach out to them again. Ryan, just Pacific. I know you've covered a lot of teams last few days. Just tell us what you've seen in Marvel.
I mean, take because you coming of war for I don't know why I keep in Louisville the last few days. But anyway, I mean, in both ball games, very hard. Of course, if they did not draw Christian County out of Knoxville, then it may be a different story. But still, they're a nice ball team. They play very, very hard.
Absolutely. So, I've got to cover them last year, the year prior to that. I've got to see them a few times since I've been doing it. And, each season they do get better. And speaking of the Barville Tigers, we've actually got one of them on right now. So are you all ready to bring him on?
Yeah, we are ready.
Well, Ethan, first off, we want to thank you for taking your time to come on.
Thank you for having me.
And Riley, we want to thank you for taking your time to come on and listen to Mark ramble on here.
I appreciate y'all inviting me.
I'm just over here at his house to collect my presents. I'm gonna leave, so this is very unusual for me and Edward. It's all about collecting. I always say, come Christmas time, it's better to receive instead of give, and much cheaper too. So I come over here, I collect my presents, I leave. So I'll get you next year. So, but one of these years I might buy something. But fellas, thank you for coming on. I was talking about you earlier about especially on short notice and coming on, and you was probably asked to come on this show probably about after 5 o'clock. So thank you for coming on, especially on short notice. And you has been working his butts off, but just so far, you can both chime in if you want to. Just thoughts of your season at this point.
Well, I mean, we played a couple good games at first that were teams that we handled pretty well. Two teams, Lee County, we played them first game and we handled them pretty well. We beat them by 20, I think. And then we ended up playing a team that we had played last year out of Tennessee that we ended up beating by 30. But I think that was really a good way to start the season because it gave us a little bit of momentum.
Absolutely. And we've been down Barville a few times. And one thing about the Barville Gymnasium that I've learned firsthand is just how loud it gets in there and the support that you get. Could you speak a little bit about that?
The gym's, it's loud. It's hard to hear what's going on in there, and you really got to pay attention.
Yep, that leads me into one of my questions. I've been there, several times. Got to cover you all, at Barville, and I've seen you outside of there. But I do got to ask you. On the court, because I know how loud it is in the stands. How hard is it to hear, like your coach drawing up a play for you and through timeout or while you're out on the court?
It's very difficult. Like Fish said, we've got to really focus in those timeouts because you only get so many timeouts, and we really got to focus and be able to execute the plan that the coach gives us. And yeah.
So this one's kind of for both of you. What is it like, playing for Barville with the fan base that you all have? Because, like I said, the times I've been there, your fans show up. They're always showing out. They're always showing you the love and support. And, it just – how's that make you feel when you're out there on the court?
It's amazing. Every time we play there, anywhere really, they always show up to show support no matter win or loss. It don't matter to them. They're always there.
Absolutely. But Mark, you want to go or you go?
Tell us a little bit about Coach Taylor and what he's meant to you.
Coach is he's been. I had a coach my 8th grade year. I enjoyed a lot, but coming up to my freshman year, got a new coach. It was tough at first trying to find my spot where I was in the roster. Really didn't see the floor really to my junior year, but from last year to this year, I think we've improved, and I think he has led us to where we are right now.
Yeah, I think that once we figured out that he could show us our role and help us through the season and tell us what we need to do better, I think he figured us out.
Absolutely. Ryan?
Now, since I interviewed both of these today, looking at your schedule, how's your schedule propelled you for district play and then division as well?
Well, we got All A coming up after we get done with the borderline tournament in Whitley County, and which is that. I mean, that's playing for something that matters, and it's a big deal to win the All A, and so I think that will give us the momentum. Also, we play Corbin and Clay County in the same week, back-to-back games. So I think those are two high-level competitions. So I think that will also help us in the postseason.
Marcus passed the cost to me, but Marco Edwards.
Riley and Ethan, and the one if you develop a cough after this show, we've got this thing hashtag blame Edward. Seems like everybody comes on the show gets a cough, and we can't get rid of it. So I've been living on cough drops for about 4.5 years. So hopefully, hopefully, if you get a cough, blame Edward, send him all the medical bills. He'll square that away for you. So far, your season's done pretty good. You just played some stiff competition. I believe you got Belfry tomorrow.
Yes.
Played a lot of really, really good competition. Um, yeah, I know you spoke a little bit about the all way, and we also know what your end goal is too. Like any other team, you won't pack the hardware at home. Just tell us what it would take for you to reach that ultimate goal.
Um, I think that to be able to cut the nets down whenever the district does come around, I think we just got to keep competing. I know we got a team that wants to win, and they know what that goal is. As a team, we know what that goal is. So I think that if we can just progress through the season and continue to grow and use the games that we have to get better, I think by district time we'll be able to compete.
Ethan, you have anything on that? Or?
I think as a team that once we reach to where we want to be, we can be where we can and cut the nets down.
Absolutely. We know what's fixing to come up, Tuesday and Wednesday and stuff like that. And it's a very special time for a lot of people. And we just joke a little bit about Christmas and presents, but we know what Christmas is about family and loved ones and stuff like that. So I'm gonna give you both your time on the mic here, and just if you want to speak a little bit about your loved ones, give shout outs to family, friends, just whoever, because it's just that time of year.
I want to thank you to my mother and my father. They pour all their time into my ball games. They don't have to show up, but they show out. They show up every night for my ball games. And my grandmother, she's 86 and still shows up to every one of my games. It really means a lot, especially as a senior, because you won't ever have that back. So it really means a lot for my family to show up and be there.
Absolutely, you're only a senior once in high school.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think my mom and dad, they always show up. They don't never leave me dry. They keep me through it and tell me what I'm doing wrong during games to help me through it. But I want to thank our assistant coaches and my coach for putting me where I'm at in this game that I love today.
So I'm gonna have to ask you because I covered you last season, and I've seen a major improvement from both of you and from your team. So what did you all do in the off season to get you to the point where you're at right now?
I spent a whole lot of off season injured. I had wrist surgery this summer, so I didn't. My first practice back was October 10th, and I've just been going at it as hard as I can because that's just with that injury you gotta push harder than what you normally would. You know how it is. With the wrist injury, you got to learn how to shoot again, and it's been rough, and it's took a lot of hard work. But I finally made it to where I can make an impact on the game.
Absolutely, Ethan.
We just got in the gym a lot, almost every day of the week. We we'd practice with each other sometimes. Sometimes we'd do off work. But I think getting in the gym throughout the summer and after season was over was a big key factor to where we're at.
So I do got to ask you this question. This is kind of one of my favorite questions to ask any and all student athletes to come on. So, like in the Knox County / Corbin area, what would you consider your favorite place to go eat at?
I like your motto. I
Your
love
motto.
love your motto.
Yep.
Well, you mean you can't go wrong there.
No,
So I do have to ask you, is what would you consider your favorite memory about basketball? It can be playing in the backyard with family, friends. It can be a varsity game, shooting basketball inside your grandma's kitchen, anything.
my favorite memory of playing basketball is a league that my church does. It's Upward, and it's a great combination of basketball and you get to learn about Jesus. And I think it was great for me because I could build a relationship with kids through the game that I loved, as well as building a relationship with Jesus. So that's probably my favorite memory.
Absolutely.
I think my favorite memory with basketball was probably the Saturday tournament we did for our little kids at school. It showed us a lot about how coaches really have it and how hard it actually is to get a coach to be coached and to try to coach others.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna have to ask you all this. Mark says that he could do it in the middle of a game. Do y'all think you could do a granny shot in the middle of a game?
No.
Coach would put me on the very end of the bench if I done that.
See, you're already benched, Mark.
But what about if you actually hit the shot? You like hit from half court. Would you still get benched or something?
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
So, like, what would you consider your favorite aspect about playing basketball?
I like the grind that it takes to be good. Like I think I love basketball because it's not just something that you can just go out and be good at. You have to work at it, and it means more to me because the work that I put in, it results in me playing good in games. So I think I love basketball because it just takes a level of commitment to be able to go out and perform.
Absolutely.
I really love the game I play. I think it's all a mental game. If you're weak minded, you're not going to be as where you're at in the game. But if you're strong minded and you can come over your mental faces and you can have the level of commitment that you need to have and win the game.
So I have to ask you this too. On the court, are y'all trash talkers, or do you let like your game do the talking? Because see, if I'm playing Mark and I hit a three on him, hit a layup with an and one, I'm gonna flex on him, probably trip him and push him down, probably throw the ball at him. I mean, I'm doing all that stuff.
I whatever the opponent, I match the opponent's level. So if they're trash talking, I'm gonna say some stuff. But if they're calm and they're chill, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
So y'all both just kind of match the energy of the player that you're having to guard.
Yeah, there ain't no need of being mean if they're not either. So
I understand that completely, but Mark, Ryan, before I show them a few things that we made them up.
First of myself, I just want to thank you for coming on. Like I said earlier, especially on short notice. I know you guys, you got a thing called life in school. You got a lot of things going on between basketball, and you got another game tomorrow. So just again, thank you for coming on, and wish you both personally the best of luck, and the Marble Tigers the best of luck the rest of the year, and just absolutely love covering you, and just can't see what the future holds for both of you and your team, man. And Merry Christmas to you all, to your family, and again, thank you for coming on.
thank you for
Right.
inviting
Thank you
us.
for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Ryan.
I was gonna say the same thing Mark did, so I don't have to repeat myself again.
So I do got, just a couple final questions. And one of them is probably my all-time favorite question. So before the season started, was there a certain team that you all had highlighted that you couldn't wait to play against the most?
Yes,
Knox
sir.
Central.
That'd be the Knox Central Panthers. That's our rivals. It's the game that we have highlighted every year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Like the crosstown stuff.
Yep. Crosstown rivals.
So I've been to a few of those games, and because that was leading me into my next question because I figured that was going to be the answer. But what's it like playing as an athlete in that game, in that atmosphere?
It's amazing because from being a kid that was in the pep section cheering on the team when I was an 8th grader to being in the game and making an impact in the game, it's a surreal moment because it just shows the growth that you've made, and especially in a game like that because everybody's there. Everybody in Knox County is going to be there, so you got to show out for the home crowd and get the win.
Absolutely. So before I show you a few things, any type of milestones you all hit the remaining part of this season or anything like that, feel free to have somebody reach out to me and let me know that. That way I can make up a few graphics and try to promote you all to the best of my abilities because that's what I want to do. I want to try to promotions. I want to try to help you get to your ultimate goal and, playing at the next level and all that. So anything I can do to help you, feel free to let me know or have somebody let me know. But we do tend to put together a couple graphics, and he's already trying to bribe you.
No, I was.
As he always does.
But we do put together a couple graphics for each student athlete that does come on our show. And this is our way of saying thank you for taking your time to come on and answer some of our questions while Mark bribes you throughout the whole sentence. But just kind of want to get your idea on which one you all like the most. And I will get these sent over to you, and they will also be posted on all of our social media sites. But just tell us which one of the two you like the most. So out of the first one or the second one, which one did y'all like the most?
I like the first one personally.
The first one.
Yeah, first one.
See,
There you go, Mark.
I won about 4 of them competitions or something.
But
I'm probably about 4 and 168 or something like that right now.
that's about like his shooting percentage.
Yeah.
That's all he wants to do is granny shots. So
I'm getting ready to busted bubble on the one too. Y'all like
Would the coach pull you out of the game if you like tried to granny shot the free throw line?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is for both of y'all if y'all want to. If y'all like coffee, y'all like hot coffee or cold coffee?
I don't like any coffee. I don't like any coffee.
which one did you say?
Hot coffee.
Well, at least you got one.
We're bringing Ethan on every week. We're going to be sitting here drinking coffee. Ethan, I'd be drinking a cup of coffee right now, but of course, I come over to my brother's house here, and I'm like, "Where's the coffee pot?" They're like, "It's your pot." I'm drinking this kidney buster stuff here that I will be hurt for 4.5 weeks now.
But
I'm going up and down the floor.
But I am looking forward to covering yins again. I think it's tomorrow, Monday. So I'm looking forward to getting the coverings again tomorrow. And best of wishes in that game also. And again, like Mark and Ryan said, thank you all for taking your time for coming on and talking to us. And best of wishes the remaining part of the season. And good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for inviting us on.
Thank you for coming on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
A great interview, a great group of guys. And now I guess we're ready to bring on the Whitley swim team. And before we bring them on, we see them back there in the back room or the green room. Do we call it the green room? We see them back there. So we'll bring them on here in a second. But the one thing that I'm going to harp upon this team, and I know it firsthand because I've been told I know about it, is the work ethic behind them. And I'm going to ask them to just tell the guests about where to go for practices and the travel that they have to do each and every time to get these practices in, the times that they do it, and just that alone shows the commitment of these young females. And you just instantly have to bond with that. Because Whitley County at this point in time, they don't have the swimming, the pools and stuff like that. So they have to travel, and they stick with it. They don't miss, but you gotta love them for that. But I'm ready when Ryan's ready and you're ready.
I'm ready.
Ready to go?
Hi.
Hi.
So first off, thank y'all for taking your time to come on and educate us about competitive swimming.
Thanks for inviting us.
Well, this is something new for me. I actually come to my brother's house. We normally in different little areas. I just come over here to collect my presents, and I'm trying to get out of here. This is the only time he welcomes me in this house. This time I got him. I'm just taking my presents. I'll tell him I'll get his next year. So but again, thank you for coming on. And are we waiting for somebody else? Or is it going to be you, Sue, Taylor, and Kinsley? Or
It's just gonna be us. I think. Yeah.
First off, I want to open the show up. I've had the honor to be able to take you to a couple of events. I know the work that you've put in, and I would be sitting here lying to this audience tonight if I told you I know anything about competitive swimming. But that's the reason why we're bringing you on tonight. You teach us. And I also have to say one other thing. Yous are making history tonight because yous are definitely the first swimmers that has ever come on this show. And as far as I know of, maybe
Ever.
yeah, ever. And it's just a sport that, we need to pick up our pace on covering, promoting, doing the things we need to do for young so you can reach your next level. But just first off, Taylor and Kinsley, take times between both of you and just introduce yourself, tell us who you are, and just tell us a little bit about Whitley County Swimming.
I'm Kinsley, and Whitley Swimming. It's fairly new. We've only had our swim team this is our second year now, and we practice about 3 days a week for an hour and a half. But I've been swimming for a lot longer than that. I've been swimming since I was 5 years old through the KAC. So I have a lot of background in that, and I swim butterfly and backstroke mainly, but I can swim all the strokes.
I'm Taylor. It's like she said, it's fairly new. Really thankful for all the swimmers that have opened themselves to just trying it. We've definitely bonded with a lot of new people that I've never even had the chance to meet before, and it's like a big family. I swim to the 200 IM and the 500 free. And like she said, we both have had a lot of background in swimming. I've been swimming since I was 8.
And I already know the answer to this, but it's in my heart. I want the audience to hear this. Could you tell us about your practices and your practice schedules, locations you go?
So on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, we swim at University of the Cumberlands, and that we do for an hour and a half. And then on Wednesdays and Fridays, sometimes we swim at the Corbin City Pool, and we'll do that for an hour and a half also. And so then sometimes we have 5-day practice weeks. So yeah.
You hear that right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can swim for an hour and a half.
It's hard.
First they go through the travels, and then they practice these long hours, and then they have to find ways back home. Also, I mean, what's your normal time? Because I'm downtime to a point. Uh, just guessing. What's your normal time about even getting to bed after a practice?
Usually we're getting out of the pool, like heading home around 8 o'clock. So we're usually getting home around 8:30, 8:15, somewhere around there. So just any time in between that after dinner and all that.
So probably about 10 o'clock or so on a normal basis. Uh,
Um,
that's just incredible to travel, the commitment the young ladies put into this. And as you can tell, my partner here left. We're having like what can we say on that, Edward?
Some wild kids.
Some wild kids. But and again, I've been reading a lot about swimming today and trying to educate myself a lot with it. And the one word that keeps that I've seen a lot today was oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. I guess breathing is very important. I mean, and I reckon what I'm reading up into about swimming and stuff limits your oxygen. So tell us a little bit about that. I mean, educate us about how you can do all these laps and not collapse and die. I mean, you just that seems to be you have to be really, really good.
lots and lots of training.
Yeah, it's definitely a build up for sure. You see these new kids and they start and they're like, how do we not breathe? They're swimming with their heads up and they're sinking. And I think it's just practice and slowly learning that you can't do that. You're not going to make it down the pool. So
Your coach, like our coach, works really hard on with us about like breathing and just like trying to get as far as you can without breathing and just really strongly pushing like you're going to get farther when you don't breathe as much. So it's just a lot of endurance and it's a lot of the mental aspect. Would you agree?
yeah,
Of
definitely
like
pushing
you're
yourself.
pushing yourself because your brain's telling you can't do something and your body is telling you can't, but you've got to keep going to be able to win that race.
In other words, Mark, don't try to do swimming. You're done out.
No, I get halfway down through there and I'm sinking like a rock. How how hard is it to? I'm sure there's a routine that you practice daily, but how hard is it not to splash the water up in your nose and your mouth to just to the point that it's just not choking you to death?
I do it constantly. I choke myself every day by accidentally like splashing water up my nose or like just choking on water.
Every
So-
practice, somebody will stand up straight and be like, "Oh Lord, I'm dying."
You just have to practice like in those cases, like in races, like if that was to happen, you can't stand up and just get a breath of air or you'll be disqualified. So you just have to practice being able to calm yourself down to get your air.
Yeah, just keep going.
Well, I'm talking a lot about air tonight because I've been on these for about 4.5 years. I'm sure you've probably heard me the other day. But I will tell you in advance, if either one of you wind up getting a cough after this show, blame it on Edward. It's hashtag blame it on Edward.
Blame it on that.
Send him all your blame it on Edward. Send him all your medical bills. He'll square it away.
Like I'm the only one without the cough, Mark.
Me and Mark has got the cough.
Yeah, me and Ryan cannot. We can't quit the cough. Now Ryan was a pretty good tennis player back in the day. So do you think Ryan right there? You think he can do the laps he used to do?
Maybe if you like, did you do a lot of running and stuff?
Yes.
You could probably do it. Running is very similar to swimming. It helps me. I run when I'm in my off season just to help stay in shape.
Well, see, I'm a real good swimmer when I'm in about 2 to 3 foot of water.
Yeah. So you're saying me and Edward need to stay away from it, right? Ryan could probably survive it. Me and Edward used to probably like be sending the lifeguard in there.
Pretty much.
But Edward, to go ahead or Ryan.
Ryan.
He opens up the call.
Yeah, tell me I can't quit.
Remember,
but,
hashtag blame Edward.
I mean, it's time to just talk about your scheduling and about how many swim matches or I guess meets or whatever you call them you have per year.
I think we have about 10 this year.
Yeah,
10 swim meets.
and then we just like it very much depends on like everybody's schedule and like when the meets are and like just the timing and place. Last year we had 2 meets before regions,
Significantly less. We're definitely
Yeah.
growing. Yeah.
and we've had maybe 10 meets, maybe 11,
Yeah.
10 or 11 meets this year already, or just planned.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I know it's with your practice schedule and all that stuff, but how hard is it to practice, have a meet and score all at the same time?
hard.
Yeah, it's definitely intense. Like when the homework builds up and you're like, oh my gosh, I got homework, I got practice, and I got to meet tomorrow. And like, you just gotta have to manage your time. And
It gets stressful at times, but it's very good to have a big family to sit there and help you through, like when you're struggling with your homework or like just struggling to get stuff done.
yeah, I would say that's for sure. Like before meets, we always like sit together and we're all doing our homework at the same time. And I think it definitely helps.
Yeah.
That sounds like me.
So I did hear you both say that there was like I think 2 different styles of swimming that you all doing. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So what do you all have to do? Both of them at the swim meets, or is it just like one?
So swim meets work for high school. We can only swim 2 individual races and 2 relays.
Yeah.
So we swim both the races that we mentioned, and then we swim 2 other relays with some of the other girls.
We swim the medley relay and then the 400 free relay right now.
So y'all got do 4 different styles of swimming in one meet?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So me swimming is completely out of the picture.
Could you tell the audience the 4 different styles that you have to do? I think I have a pretty good hint about this.
You specialize.
Yeah, I mostly specialize in butterfly, which most people really hate, especially if they're new to swimming. Even if they're a long time swimmer, it's considered the most difficult stroke because you die out the easiest in it. It takes the most force. Both of your arms are moving at the same time. Takes the most full amount of kick. But I love it. I've just always done it. I've always enjoyed it. I do the 100-meter butterfly race, and I really enjoy it. And then I do the 100-meter backstroke. That's at least what I've been racing recently, and I've really enjoyed that as well.
I kind of do all of the strokes in my IM, so I don't really have like a stroke that I specialize in. I do a lot of freestyle, but in the IM I swim butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle all in that one race. So I kind of do a bit of everything.
She swims 50 meters of each stroke.
And then I get out and do a 500 freestyle.
So 500 meter, what would that be considered in swimming? Like how many
20 laps.
That's 20 laps in the pool.
Oh, crap.
God.
I had to have a counter
That's
sitting
what-
in the pool, like counting all my strokes. She had to
I
count
get
for me this weekend.
So confused counting for her. I don't know how she swims the whole time because I'm just getting confused counting.
I just have a lot of trust in my counters because my brain just doesn't go that far when I'm swimming because I have other things that I'm worried about when swimming.
So would one lap be considered, just from one side to the other, or is
Yeah.
it from one side to the other back?
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it just all the way down is one lap, and then all the way back is the second lap. Thankfully.
And you got to do that 20 times for the 500
Yep.
meter.
Yeah. Yeah,
Listen, I'm
don't
gonna
know
give it
why.
some-
roughly
just watch.
7 minutes to finish the whole race. It's a long race.
My best time right now is 7 minutes and 6 seconds. So I'm hoping to break 7 minutes soon.
It's a long race.
Listen, I'm already exhausted just thinking about it. So I don't know how y'all do that. But listen, I'm already exhausted and lost what I was thinking about.
It's very much like I have to really think about it, and like I have to get out of my head and like just tell myself like you're gonna do okay, like, you're gonna be fine. Because like in the middle of that race, when your arms start getting tired, like your brain starts saying like just go ahead and quit, like you can't do this, and you just have to power through that, which is very hard sometimes to do.
My arms would be tired before I even got halfway. So I'm gonna have to give y'all props for being able to do that many times. So, what would you consider? I know you said it's kind of new at Whitley County, but y'all had been swimming prior. But what would you consider your favorite memory all time in swimming?
Oh Lord, you go. I can't think of any.
Well, my favorite memory probably all time ever. LCSA conference probably 2 years back. I won a medal for the first ever time. This is before I had labrum surgery because I had labrum surgery last year. I won third place, my backstroke overall, and got a medal for it. I was so happy because I've never won a medal before. But this is like a couple of years back, so I was just so tickled. But yeah,
I have too many memories, but probably one of my favorite was when we first won during one of our summer conferences. When we first won our trophy and overall winner for our team for the first time.
So I know you've got like y'all have got lines that separate you from the other swimmers, correct? So have y'all ever been like tempted to like kick one of them lines over or kick something over to against one of your swimmers that you're going against?
well, if you did that, you'd get disqualified.
Well, what if the ref don't see it though?
They pay pretty close attention.
Well, never mind that. I can't win then. I was going to kick.
You get close. It could happen sometimes on breaststroke because you'll get right up on the lane line, and then the other person will be right up on it, and you're just praying that you don't kick them because it'll get like that close, and it's terrifying when you get that close.
Mark and Edward, I'd probably get kicked.
If I was swimming against Edward, I'd just pretty sure I'd just be ducking him under. I wouldn't hit the line, so that technically would be cheating if you're ducking him under each time.
Technically not.
So, like, is swimming in is it in like a point system, or is it just by basically who gets there first?
So it's based off like the first 5 or 4.
I think it depends on which meets you go to, but I think like top 5, top 6 in each race get points for the team. So we look at that when we're trying to place people in races. If you're going to place in the top 6 based on your time, and we try to plan that strategically for our team to put those races in place the top 6. But obviously, you're going to get more points if you would place first rather than 6th place for your team. And you get more points for relays.
So is there a way like if you can like lose points, or is it just straight on that? So like we was talking about like the lines.
There's not really a way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's really a way to lose points.
Like if you disqualify, that just means you don't get any points. Like your race didn't really count for anything.
Which sucks, especially if you made like a really good time and then it's like a little just technique, like you took an extra kick here or you took an extra pull here, and then that's like it's your best time ever. It doesn't count. It doesn't go in the book. It doesn't matter.
It does, like if you get first place, like that don't matter.
It didn't
like,
count.
You just hope it's like you didn't even swim the race.
Yeah.
So how long does a swim, like just one swim meet, last?
Depends on the meet. So Russell, we swim at Russell Springs sometimes for meets, and that's usually an all-day meet. So we'll get there around 10 in the morning, and we don't leave there until maybe 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And
then we'll go to like Union, and they only last like
an hour, hour and a half.
yeah.
Just because
Really
of how little
quick
swimmers
meets.
it is. The more swimmers there are, and the more races and heats there are, it just like the time frame goes up like significantly.
The long meets are hard because you sit there all day on a bleacher, and then you have to get in and swim. And the short meets, it's kind of like different because like you're swimming back to back. But
Well, you kind of answered my next question because I was going to ask, do you have like a break between your swims, or is it like one swim, then you get out and you basically barely get dried off and have to go right back?
Depends on the meet.
yeah,
The races like when we have a home meet or we have one at Union, those are more smaller meets. So like I'll get out of the water and then I'll have like one event before me, and I'll like have to be right behind the block. I'll get a little drink of water or something, and I'll be right behind the block.
yeah. I remember last meet at Union, Candace got out of the water and then went
back
right back and got back on the block, and we were like, Candace, oh my goodness. She was like,
Well, y'all got way more stamina than I ever had. So I mean, that's for sure. But so I'm gonna have to ask you, in the Whitley County area, where would you consider?
I think I know this answer.
Where would you consider your favorite place to go eat?
Wrigley.
I like the Wrigley. I like Seasons. I like Seasons pretty good too.
What you thinking?
No.
I like Mexican.
Williamsburg's lacking good restaurants. We need a few more.
They got the Brick Oven was really good, and what's the Mexican place in the one next to Walmart?
El Torres.
Yeah, that's a really good place to go eat.
I'll eat at any Mexican restaurant. I don't care.
Okay, before I ask you about her, would you add more? I'm sure you got more. We're gonna keep you on about 4.5 days, so you're just gonna shut your internet off because we got so many questions. I'll just prepare you for that. But when we got the subject of food, now you talked about like a Mexican. Okay, so do you like Taco Bell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy right here, he'll eat a Taco Bell and loves Taco Bell, but will not eat Mexican.
Well, I've tried.
They can figure that out.
I've tried to explain it to him. I can't read nothing on the menu.
That's
So,
fair.
It's burrito, taco, rice, burrito, deluxe.
if I'm gonna get a burrito, deluxe, or something, I'm just gonna go to Taco Bell.
See what me and Ryan has to
They're
go.
better at Mexican though. I mean,
I get two different things at
Yeah.
both places.
That leads me to the second question. Have you ever ate at a bad Mexican restaurant? Or are they just all good? Everywhere you go.
I've had like maybe one bad experience, but like it was just like the day they were very rushed and it was just a bad day. So
I don't know. Swim makes me pretty much always hungry, so I'm down to eat about anything. So
Gotta ask you about Coach Miracle there. You gotta tell me about her. I've got to know your coaches a little bit, driving the bus and I know how dedicated they are toward you and toward the sport. So I gotta ask you to give them a little bit of love.
well, she's my mom. So
Well, you better give her some love. It's about Christmas time.
I do. I love her a little bit, but
a little bit.
yeah,
A
So,
little
just a little bit.
Mont didn't do nothing.
gosh, I go ahead.
She's a good coach for someone who really hasn't had much experience in the water, and like just all around, she cares a lot for us, and like she always makes sure we have enough to drink, enough snacks during meets. So
She really, I've noticed this. I didn't know she was gonna be like this when she said she was gonna like get us to swim team. She was gonna coach it. I was like, Mom, are you sure you're gonna do this? She was like, Yeah. I'm gonna do it for you. I'm gonna do it for you. And then we get into this, and that's all she thinks about is swim constantly, 24/7. She's like, I just gotta do it for them girls. I gotta get this stuff done.
And they're fed pretty good after the events too. I'm not going to say how I know that, but they're fed pretty good after the events too. But I got like one really serious question. I'm gonna come with the hard hit one, so hope you're ready. But the one serious question about going back to the sport, one of the things I read on today also about all the muscles you use in your body in competitive swim, and not counting the cardiovascular workout you get by the breathing and stuff like that. Uh, do swimmers work out, or do they get enough in that pool that they really don't need to? Because I think if I'm right, I believe the basketball team goes and swims to get some of their workouts in.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of lifting and some running during and in between seasons just to help me stay in shape. So I know a lot of swimmers that have gotten into weightlifting just to get more muscle build for practice and some practice. And then there's a lot of cross country runners on the team that I know that
I know swimming is it's really different because it works different muscles of your body than people are used to working, and at the same time it works like all the muscles. But swimmers are really strong in like their forward part of their shoulders, and I learned this by having to have shoulder surgery that you have to kind of work out the back of your shoulders too because you become too strong in the front part of your shoulder, and that's how I ended up with shoulder injury. So like making sure you're like well versed and well, like I guess equally muscle mass everywhere and not too much muscle mass in one place is good. But I know there's several basketball players and other sports players who swim at the college because their coaches make them. And they do not enjoy it, but they do it for all the benefits.
Okay, so now the two hard hitting questions. So I'm hoping you're ready because we bring it on this show. Okay, between me, you've got great hair. But between me and Edward and Ryan, I think I already know the answer to this. Who's got the best hair between me, Ryan, and Edward?
I don't really know. Maybe Ryan.
Ryan does got the good hair. Ryan always wins that. Everybody always likes Ryan hair. He looks like he's got that Elvis Presley look going on. So you can't beat that. But okay, but the last but not least hard hit question. And in this scenario, you can't bring none of your coaches or teachers or parents along. It's just all your teammates, okay? They're in like a big van, a 25 passenger van. As they're going down the road, one of the ends are driving. As they're going down the road, the van tears up. Who's going to get out there and fix it? This is just teammates only. You can't call a parent or a coach or a tow truck.
No.
Like who?
Wait, what was that? Like, who would fix it?
Yeah, who would go out there and say, hand me the socket set and the screwdriver. I'll go out there and work on the van, get it going.
I'd try, but I'd probably mess it up even worse.
Yeah, I don't think it would be me. I think Chloe would probably.
Chloe would know a lot.
Yeah, she'd probably do the best at that kind of thing. I think she would put her best foot forward. She tries really.
I would try, but I'd make everything a lot worse.
I could also see Savannah doing that. Like she stays calm. I get too worked up. I feel like
maybe a few of you get greasy and just like let's fix this van. Okay, so you get together, you get it running. Then all of a sudden you're running out of gas. You pull to a gas station. Who's going to volunteer and buy the gas?
I don't know. Maybe Callie has a job, so maybe Callie has to pay for the gas.
I feel like we'd all probably split it a little. Like, at least a couple of us would pitch in a little bit.
if me and Ron and Edward run out of gas, Edward would have the most money, but he would be the first one to say, I'm broke. I'm broke. And then Ron would probably have to pay about 75% of it. I'd probably give a couple dollars. That's probably about the truth. And Ron knows I'm telling the truth. Ron's a good guy. He won't admit the truth, but that's probably what would happen.
It would honestly depend on who all had money on them.
Yeah.
Nobody really takes any money to swim meets.
No, they go. They're like, who has money?
So nobody wants to get wet or anything like that. So it really just depends on who had cash on them or anything at that point.
So you got your practice in, you got the van fixed, full tank of gas. You just want to go back here, all your teammates at somebody's house, do the Netflix and chill, do a little relaxation, watch a movie. Who's gonna get up, cook everybody some dinner?
Me. Me and a cup. Who else cooks? There's a couple.
I don't know who cooks. Kara cooks. Kara likes to cook.
I like to cook.
I could see Candace cooking, maybe. I don't know.
I can maybe see you helping.
I can help. I don't know that I can cook.
I don't know if I trust you on a stove anymore.
So why are you fixing that night?
No,
Everybody likes pizza pretty good.
Yeah,
We eat a lot of pizza.
that's fair. We all like pizza
Yeah.
and chicken tenders.
Yeah, we all like chicken tenders.
I'm half starved to death now, but I'll let Edward and Ryan finish up. And again, thank you for coming on, Onions. It's been an awesome interview. It's educated us. Onions is laughter. Just get it. Laughter's the best medicine, and that's the best way to live your life. But I'm sure Edward or Ryan, either one will ask you this, but I'll just go ahead and ask it for them. It's getting close to Christmas time. It's about loved ones. If you just want to take a minute, a piece, whatever, how long you just want to take it, shout to anyone in your loved one's family, whatever you just want to say.
Okay. I want to thank my dad and my mom. They've made a very big impact on my swimming career and just pushing me and like encouraging me around meets and just creating like an environment at the house where like they're always like pumping me up before meet, like making sure I'm hydrated and just taking time like out of their day and out of their week to make sure that they're at practice with me and just encouraging me through practice and just encouraging me. And I want to thank my little sister. She's awesome. She sits at every meet and cheers for me every time I'm in the water.
I want to thank my mom definitely for like stepping up and coaching us and taking on that role, and so that we could have a swim team. And I think that's I'm so incredibly grateful for that, and so it's helping me to be able to get back in the water. Like I didn't think this would even be a possibility. I mean, I'm not even a year out from surgery, so I didn't think I would be here. It's awesome. And I also want to thank Quincy, who's been officialing for all of our meets, and that's been such a great thing because we wouldn't be able to go to these meets without him either. So.
Ryan?
This is what I always ask is, y'all like hot coffee or cold coffee?
I don't like any coffee. I'm a tea drinker.
Got it. There we go. You like sweet tea, lemon tea, peach tea?
I like lemon tea. Sweet tea.
Hot tea, cold tea, like lemon tea, anything. I don't like unsweet.
I don't like coffee or tea. They're too bitter, both of them.
What's tea bitter?
Coffee and tea is bitter. Both of them are bitter.
Coffee's tea bitter.
Lemonade then?
It's a bad taste in your mouth.
What about lemonade?
Lemonade's good.
Oh, I love lemonade.
Well, let's see. There we go.
Yeah,
At least it's close.
Chick-fil-A lemonade's the best. That's where I love to get my lemonade from.
Edward.
So we do tend to put together a graphic for each student athlete that does come on our show, and this is kind of our way of saying thank you. And
He's only bribing you.
after the show's over with, I will get them sent out to you, and just kind of want to get your thoughts on it. See if I can get my mouse to work here.
Take it away with it. I don't care.
Oh, I like that. That's really cool.
It's good.
Yeah. I like that. That makes you look tough.
Thank you. I love that.
So that was my first time actually putting a swimmer's graphic together. So I hope y'all liked it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I did try, but I do got another graphic coming for you also. I'm just trying to figure out what the swimming pool kind of looks like, so I can design it. So that way I can design the second one for you. But I don't know what the milestones are in swimming yet. But any milestone that you all hit, any of your teammates hit, have coach reach out to us and let us know that, because I'd love to be able to promote you all to the best of my ability, and anything that I can do to try to help get y'all to the next level. Please reach out to me and let me know that, because that's my ultimate goal. Is I want to try to help promote y'all to the best of my ability.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you, and again, Merry Christmas to you all and your family. And y'all have been great. I've loved every minute talking to you, and I've learned a lot about swimming. I do know for a fact that there's no way I'm going to be able to do it, even when I was younger. So that's out of the picture. But best of luck to you and your team, and looking forward to actually getting out to cover one. Now, if I have to interview you and I'm breathing real heavy, just know I got exhausted watching y'all swim out there.
One quick bit. I believe these young ladies are, the candy bars that we always talk about.
Mhm.
We have our views about the caramel and the dark chocolate and the wafers. I think they're going to be out selling these soon. Am I right?
Yes, you are.
For our viewers out there, buy these. And whatever fundraisers that they're having, support these young ladies, support these coaching staff. I don't want to go in firsthand, but I know for a fact what the cost it's costing this team to do the things that they're doing, and they're not getting rich, folks, and they're probably going in the hole quite a bit, but they're still hanging in there. They're doing the best they can. So when you see these young ladies out about making money, support them, sponsor these girls, and any sponsors that are listening to this show, listen tonight. If you need any information, come to me, come to Ryan, come to Edward. We'll send you to the right people to talk to. Sponsor these girls. Get them on the right path. They work as hard as any group I've ever covered. And that's no lie. And they deserve it. So back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when y'all start selling candy bars, I will happily give money and have them get me one.
And I love them candy bars. I found out. I hope they go to the dollar one. I think coach was telling me that the caramel was $2. So maybe they have to sell so much. I don't understand that, but
The caramel is my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Well, I mean, I like any of them. So I mean, chocolate.
Well,
The caramel and milk chocolate are my favorite.
That's a topic of our show for many weeks about what was their favorite candy bar. But most of them picked caramel. But Edward.
I just want to tell you and thank you for your time. And again, anything that I can do to help promotions, please reach out to me and let me know that way I can do what I can do to help you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Great interview. And I learned a lot tonight. And, we always set these time limits that, we're going to go this far in this show, this far in this show. But it's hard. I mean, honestly, Edward, I could have probably asked them about 25 more questions because it was really, really interesting and it's really knowledgeable. And we're learning a lot from them. And they get it. They laughed a lot. They get it. And just again, anybody that is willing to sponsor this group of young athletes, come to us. We'll show you the way.
Absolutely. You know, it's been great. It's been a great interview, great show. Got to learn a lot, but you know, all great things have to come to an end. And for everybody watching, you know, I will not be having a Wednesday show this week due to the part that it is Christmas, and I would rather everybody spend time with their loved ones and stuff like that instead of having to be bothered and aggravated with trying to come on a show and watching the show. But we will pick back up the following Wednesday.
I ain't got any closing statements before we shut it down.
Don't forget about your top 5 must-see graphic that you always do, Edward.
Well, I actually went over that Wednesday, Ryan, but if you want me to run,
Okay. I didn't know because, I have a job of the evening time, so I didn't get to watch it. So I thought it was on there. I saw it on my screen there.
It is there. That was just extra talking point, just in case.
Mark, go first while I get me a quote up here real quick on my phone.
I didn't get no special quotes tonight, but I am inspired enough by just talking to them young ladies on the wrestling team about their travel to their practices, about the commitment that they put in. And folks, when you look at sports and you break them down, football players work hard, basketball players work hard, baseball, softball players work hard. These girls and swimming, they work just as hard. These girls, the wrestling squads, the tennis, golf. All these sports work as hard equally in their own little ways. And I became a fan of the swimming team, and hopefully we can learn, and hopefully we could maybe bring them back on to teach us a little bit more. So then we are up and running and ready to cover these events. We'll know how to cover them, and we'll know how to cover them. And Edward's little one is coming to visit us too. But we're over here with family. But hopefully we can bring them on really, really soon.
I finally got me a quote here, finally. But my inspirational quote is don't give up, don't ever give up. Jimmy Valvino.
So I'm going to leave you with this. This is probably my all-time favorite inspirational quote. And basically, success isn't owned, it's leased. It's leased, and rent is due every day, and that's by the one and only J.J. Watt. But Mark?
From all of us at the Bryant Family Medicine, all sports media, to all of yuns, Merry Christmas to you all. We love you. Be safe. Enjoy time with your family. And just know what Christmas is all about.
So everybody here from the Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media, Merry Christmas, good night, and God bless.